Hey everyone, welcome back to Visa Intel USA. Let's get straight into it. A major development is making waves in U.S. immigration policy. Senator Alex Padilla has reintroduced a groundbreaking bill that could open a path to legal status for over 8 million undocumented immigrants who have lived in the United States since before 2018. This proposal involves updating the long-outdated immigration registry law, which hasn't been revised since 1986. Back then, the cutoff date for eligibility was 1972. This new bill seeks to implement rolling eligibility based on length of stay, meaning individuals who have been in the U.S. for at least 7 years and have no serious criminal history could apply for green cards. This includes a wide group of immigrants, dreamers, temporary protected status, TPS, holders, visa overstayers, and others who have built their lives here. If passed, this bill could generate over $120 billion in economic activity annually and inject an additional $35 billion into the U.S. tax system. Despite renewed advocacy and media attention, the proposal faces strong opposition in Congress, where there's still little appetite for sweeping immigration reform. Supporters call it a necessary and humane correction. Critics call it a blanket amnesty. Regardless, the conversation is back in full force as the 2026 election season approaches. In a very different policy direction, the Trump administration has taken a bold step by repurposing FEMA funds to support a new $68 million grant program aimed at expanding detention centers. States are now being encouraged to apply for these grants to build and manage immigration detention facilities. Florida is leading the way with its already controversial Alligator Alcatraz facility, which costs $450 million annually and is now being presented as a national model. This is a major policy pivot from the Biden-era focus on nonprofit humanitarian shelters to hard infrastructure for detention and deportation. Meanwhile, access to education for undocumented youth is also under pressure. Multiple states are reversing policies that once granted undocumented students access to in-state college tuition. Texas and Florida have already rolled back these benefits following lawsuits and federal pressure. Texas, a pioneer in tuition equality under former Governor Rick Perry, has now ended its program in coordination with the DOJ. Florida followed suit in July. These changes may seem bureaucratic, but their financial impact is massive. Texas stands to lose over $460 million annually in tuition revenue. With 24 states and D.C. previously adopting similar policies, we may see more reversals in the months ahead. Internationally, visa processing in Niger has come to a halt. On July 25th, the U.S. State Department suspended all routine visa services in Niger after relations with the country's military leadership deteriorated. While diplomatic and official visa categories remain unaffected, all other visa categories, including tourist, student, and family-based immigrant visas, have been frozen. This decision came shortly after Niger expelled U.S. troops, escalating tensions. The suspension remains in place until further diplomatic resolution is achieved, leaving many applicants stranded. Closer to home, USCIS is intensifying its crackdown on marriage fraud. Immigration attorneys are reporting increased incidents of green card applicants being detained right after marriage interviews. Even if a marriage is legitimate, a lack of strong documentation can result in denial and even permanent flags under INA Section 204(c), affecting future eligibility. In Wyoming, for example, a South African man was arrested after his marriage was deemed fraudulent. He had overstayed his visa and had a criminal history. Marriage fraud is a federal crime, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. USCIS now tweets warnings and examples, signaling just how seriously the agency is taking these cases. A particularly emotional incident recently surfaced in Oregon where ICE agents arrested an Iranian-born father outside his child's daycare. Dashcam footage shows the man trying to soothe his crying child during the arrest. According to the family, he had already passed his green card interview and was adjusting his status through marriage. ICE claims he had overstayed his visa and resisted arrest. This video went viral and sparked renewed debate over ICE practices and the use of force, especially in front of children. Remember, under current policy, your vehicle is not considered private space. ICE can make arrests without a judicial warrant if you're in public or behind the wheel. Meanwhile, Haitian nationals are being disproportionately affected by sweeping visa restrictions. Even those applying for K-1 fiancé visas are being denied based solely on nationality, regardless of interview location or documentation. This includes applicants being processed in third countries like the Bahamas and Barbados. The only exception is for immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, and even then, a waiver is required based on national interest grounds, a very high bar to meet. The State Department had promised a review of the travel ban 90 days after its implementation, but that review is still pending. Marriage during removal proceedings is another topic we've been asked about. The good news is that it is still possible to marry a U.S. citizen even while in removal proceedings. However, the scrutiny is far greater. The I-130 petition can be filed, but the marriage must be proven as genuine and not merely a means to avoid deportation. In most cases, your application won't go through USCIS, but rather the Immigration Court or Board of Immigration Appeals. This makes the process longer and more complex. Legal assistance is not optional here, it's essential. Another area under review is naturalization after a waiver for past criminal conduct. Even if you were granted a green card based on a waiver, applying for citizenship could reopen scrutiny of your original offense. USCIS now routinely reevaluates past criminal records when reviewing N-400 naturalization applications. With Trump's 2025 policies increasing background checks, even minor past offenses can trigger denials or ICE referrals. If this applies to you, don't rush the application, consult a qualified immigration attorney. And now, let's talk about Special Immigrant Juvenile Status, SIJS. While this program remains a lifeline for many undocumented youth, it is now under a microscope. USCIS recently stated that gang-affiliated individuals are abusing the program to gain immigration benefits. As a result, deferred action and work permits tied to SIJS are being phased out. Applicants now face longer wait times, stricter interviews, and potential denials. If you're in this category, be prepared with comprehensive evidence and legal guidance. What all of this tells us is that immigration policy in the U.S. is shifting fast. From amnesty proposals and state-run detention centers to increased enforcement and new legal hurdles, the landscape is constantly changing. This makes staying informed not just helpful, but critical. For many, the dream of legal status in the U.S. now comes with more complications and scrutiny than ever before. And here's something to keep in mind that you won't hear often. One of the biggest challenges for immigrants right now isn't just policy, it's misinformation. Social media is filled with unverified advice that can get people in serious trouble. Always double-check your information, consult professionals, and don't rely on viral posts or hearsay. Immigration is a life-changing process, and one wrong move could cost you your future. This is why channels like Visa Intel USA are so vital. We bring you accurate, verified, and timely updates to help you stay one step ahead. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an important update. Share it with anyone who could benefit from this information. We're committed to helping you navigate your immigration journey with clarity and confidence. See you in the next video.